We wanted to make sure that the Google Display Network is a place where publishers want to continue to monetize on, advertisers want to be seen on, and users are happy to visit. We as the policy team are looking out for everyone's interests, and therefore our job is to enforce the programme policies on violating publishers to maintain our high standards. Education is another key thing we are responsible for. We want to help publishers like you to stay compliant, to grow, and to get bigger and better. An important point to note is that we do not deal with any invalid click activity. That is handled by a separate team here at Google. But we generally get a lot of questions related to that topic, which we can unfortunately not answer. But I can tell you that we have invalid click specialists who carefully monitor clicks and impressions on Google Ads in order to protect your interests as well as those of our advertisers. They use both automated systems and human reviewers, analysing all ad clicks and impressions for any invalid click activity that may artificially drive up an advertiser's costs or a publisher's earnings. To prevent invalid clicks in your account, ensure that your ad implementation complies with our programme policies and that you haven't paid for traffic from an unreliable source. To contact the invalid click team, you need to use the Contact Us form in the Help Centre under the invalid click activity section in the Help Centre. So here you can see an overview of just some of the many AdSense policies. The link at the top of the page would bring you to our Help Centre, which will give you more detail about all of our policies. Today, in the interest of time, we will only be focusing on the topics highlighted in green and blue. So that means we will be taking a closer look at adult content, copyright, encouraging clicks, and ad implementation. We will also have a quick look at the Webmaster Quality Guidelines, as these are very important for providing a good user experience. A key thing to remember about our content policy is that our network is family safe, so any inappropriate or unsavory content should not be monetized. Similarly, any activities that try to trick or persuade a user to click on an ad is considered deceptive behavior and therefore against our policies. Okay, so let's take a look at our adult content policy now. As you can see on this slide, it outlines the granular violations that fall under our adult content policy. The Google Display Network is a family-safe network, and we want to keep it that way. Before deciding to place ad code on a page, always ask yourself whether you'd be comfortable viewing this content with your child or a co-worker. If the answer is no, then you shouldn't be displaying ads on these pages. As you can see here from the example, it doesn't have to be real images of people to be constituted as adult. Cartoons and games can be considered adult, as can explicit text or common spam. Most of the granular violations listed here are self-explanatory, but we often get questions on what sexually gratifying means. Really, this means that any images that are lewd and have a sexual undertone, or models that are in provocative poses. Similarly, we get asked about explicit text. This is text that is sexual in nature. This can include erotic stories, graphic descriptions of sexual acts, or blog posts on fantasies or intimate encounters. If you do have a family-safe site, but you have one small section with a more adult-related topics, for example, a wallpaper site with a small and family-safe section, then please don't place ad code on that page. It is fine to have ad code on the rest of your site, just make sure that ad code is removed from the pages with the inappropriate content. Additionally, if you have a site with user-generated content, please set up filters and review the content before allowing ads to show alongside this content. Remember, publishers are responsible for all content on their site, regardless of who posted it. The only time that adult images may be allowed is when it includes medical or artistic nudity. Bear in mind, artistic nudity still needs to be tasteful. Family-safe dating sites are also okay too, as long as they don't promote sexual behavior. Always monitor user profiles to make sure they are keeping in line with family-safe dating guidelines. Let's move on to copyrighted material now. As you can see, copyrighted material can include, but is not limited to, movies, TV shows, music, software, games, and ebooks. Any content that you place ad code on should be your own. You should hold the rights to any content that you monetize. Bear in mind, even if you are not hosting the content, but are linking to another site where you can download it from, then you are still putting your site in breach. Our legal team deals with all DMCA disputes, and if you need to lodge a complaint, you can contact them through the Help Centre. Most commonly, we see copyrighted material in forum posts, so we would alert any publisher who has a user-generated content on their site to be very vigilant for these sort of uploads. Lastly, on the topic of content policies, let's have a quick look at Webmaster Guidelines. Please always look at the quality of your website before you add any ad code. We only want good quality websites, so please refer to the Webmaster Guidelines to ensure you are in compliance. All content should be original and unique. The site should be easy to navigate and provide value to the user who visits it, and content should not be scraped or taken from other sources. We often get questions whether YouTube videos are considered scraped content. We are fine if publishers embed a YouTube video to go along with the original article or blog post. However, if someone creates a video site and just scrapes the videos directly from YouTube, then there is no value added for users and is therefore not allowed. If you have a parked domain site and want to use AdSense, then look at our AdSense for domain product rather than AdSense for content. Let's move on to some behavioral policies now. Please never click or encourage users to click on your ads. This is very damaging to advertisers and can lead to publishers' accounts being disabled. Publishers are not permitted to encourage users to click on Google Ads or bring excessive attention to the ad units. For example, your site cannot contain phrases such as click the ads, support our sponsors, visit these recommended links, or other similar language that could refer to Google Ads on your site. So please avoid using any language that calls attention to the ads. Users should click on ads because they find them relevant and useful, and not because they feel they have to click on them to help with the upkeep of a site. Similarly, you may not implement Google Ads in a manner that disguises the ads in any way. For instances, publishers may not place ads under misleading headers or titles, as this may confuse users into thinking the ads are actually site links related to that header. If you want to make a distinction between your content and the ads, then we would ask the publishers only use phrases, sponsored links or advertisements to label the ads. Anything else is in breach. Some ad implementations can be very deceptive. Deceptive ad implementation refers to behavior that disguises Google Ads in a manner that confuses the user. Having deceptive ad placements can lead to accidental clicks, which can cause irreparable damage and cost to advertisers and will lead to publisher accounts being disabled. In order to maintain a good user experience, it is important for publishers to clearly distinguish Google Ads from site content. So we ask that you don't format content to mimic ads, or format link units to look like navigational elements of your site, and please don't place images directly beside ads. Always think about the layout of your site. Content shouldn't be placed far below the ad so that users have to scroll to try and find it. Putting yourself in the shoes of a user when deciding to place ads can be very useful. So now that we have looked at some of the policies in detail, let's now see how the policy team enforce them. We constantly monitor both sites and accounts to ensure that they are policy compliant. There are a number of ways that we come across sites. Initially, when someone signs up, they need to be approved. Our system reviews sites at the time of ad serving to decide whether we want to show ads or not. And similarly, we have sites that pull automatic reviews, and then we have reactive reviews where sites are pointed out to us by other publishers, advertisers, or users. We will provide you with more information on this in a few slides, how you can actually report sites to us. Once we come across violating sites, we can then take a number of actions. Firstly, we can have site-level actions or account-level actions. If a site is violating, but it is something that can be fixed, we will issue a warning. Publishers will receive an email advising that they have 3 days to make changes. After the 3 days, we will review the site again, and if the changes have been made, great. There is no further action needed by you. However, if the changes have not been made, then your site will get disabled. We can also disable a site outright without sending a warning if they have been warned numerous times before, or if it's causing significant damage and we need to stop ad serving immediately. If the site gets disabled, the site owner can appeal to us, and if we feel confident that they are trying to comply and have a good history with us, then we will consider re-enable ad serving. If a publisher is engaging in deceptive behavior, or they have a really bad history and continue to violate, then we will warn or disable the entire account. Once an account gets disabled, it is very unlikely to get reinstated, as we do not disable accounts lightly. However, we do review all appeals we receive and respond to them. So please make sure that you always watch out for emails from us and be responsive. Here you can see an example of a warning email that you would receive if you had a violation on your site. As you can see, we give you a link to an example page. Bear in mind, this does not mean that this is the only place on your site that is a violation. So when you receive such an email, we would ask that you review your entire site for compliance with our policies. In this email, we also advise you on what the violation is with a link to the Help Centre to help you find out more. We list what action we would like you to take within the 72 hours. And finally, you'll be able to see the status of your account. As I said, once you make the change to your site, no further action is required on your part. We will re-review your site again and clear it if changes have been made. If changes are not made, we will disable ad serving to your site, and you will receive another email from us notifying you of that. Here is the email you would receive if ad serving was disabled. Again, we highlight the violation and a link to one example of it on your site. This time we don't have any requested action as the site has been disabled, but you can still make the necessary changes and appeal to us using the Contact Us form in the Help Centre. Again, important to note is the status of the account. Your account will still be active. It is only the site that we have disabled. If you ever engage in really bad behaviour and did unfortunately receive a disabled account email from us, then it would say account status disabled. Please make sure that you read any emails from the AdSense team carefully and thoroughly. We want everyone to be able to stay informed and to know how to contact us. We want to continue to help publishers stay compliant, so we recommend that you monitor the AdWords blog as we're posting policy updates and refreshers around once a month. We also recommend that you utilise all the information on the Help Centre. If you need to contact us then, you will find the Contact Us form in the Help Centre. We do not have a direct email address, nor do we have phone support, but we do respond to emails swiftly. Please make sure that you fill out the correct appeals form in the Help Centre so that it reaches us. If you have noticed some violations and want to report them, you can click on the Ads by Google logo on the bottom of the ads, and that will send a report to us with all the relevant information to enable us to take action. We also recommend that you use the forum. AdSense staff monitor the site, but there are also a lot of top contributors in there who are fantastic at answering questions super fast. This is a great way for publishers to share knowledge. Additionally, we would urge you to opt into our newsletters as we give policy tips and provide links to upcoming webinars and other educational efforts. One last but important point to remember is to keep your email address and your account up to date. Otherwise, we will be sending emails to old addresses and you'll miss them. So let's recap. Please familiarise yourself with AdSense program policies to ensure that you fully comply with these. Only place ad code on family safe content. Never click or encourage others to click on Google Ads on your site. Be sure to create your own unique content that will be valuable to others. Monitor any user-generated content. Publishers are responsible for the content on every page of their site. Don't place ads on someone else's content. Never alter the AdSense code in any way. Avoid deceptive ad implementations. Don't try to disguise ads in any way that might confuse a user. Don't create multiple accounts. Publishers may only maintain one AdSense account under a specific payee name. Use the correct AdSense product for your different types of content. We offer a number of different products to help you earn from your online content. And lastly, keep an eye out for emails from the AdSense team. If you do receive a policy notification, carefully read the email and make necessary changes within the stated timeframe to make sure that your account stays active. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for attending this webinar today.